this is I'm Ash. This is Devin. This is Philip. We are presenting as part of the Rubber Ducky Mentorship group that was last semester and a little bit this semester. And so we're going to talk about what is a rubber ducky. Rubber ducky is a microcontroller that takes advantage of the inherent trust in human interface devices such as keyboards and mice. Basically, what it does is it's like, so we had a little Arduino board and it acted as a keyboard and it could like type in a bunch of commands really quickly so that way it could do like cool stuff or evil stuff on your computer. All right, so what do they look like? Typically they're disguised as like a regular USB drive, but sometimes you can get them a little more like plain, looking like that one up there. It's just like a little board. And so the Hack 5, which is like a little more expensive, just a little bit, typically has a USB-C and a Type A adapter. And then these are usually just USB Type A, but like you can solder some stuff onto them to make them a little cooler. Like you can put a little SD card slot on it so that way it can like store and like transfer data. All right.
Who has ever had a laptop? I want a raise of hands. No?
I've never had one, Devin.
I see a solid half of the audience here. All right. So if you can plug a USB into that laptop, it can be pwned with a rubber ducky. If you leave your laptop unlocked, it can be exfiltrated, or you can have data exfiltrated with this rubber ducky or have scripts run with the rubber ducky. So even if you have a only USB-C laptop, it can be owned. And that is a Windows 7 machine that I found on the internet. Yeah. So like, you could have a rubber ducky just sitting in the stairwell, and someone might be, oh, what does this USB do? And not knowing it's a rubber ducky, plug it into any of their laptops. Or, as a bad guy might do, plug it in for them. So like some laptops that are vulnerable. Slide.
You can even be sitting right in front of it, and you can still mess with the laptop.
Slide. And a few more. And a few more.
So what you can run with a rubber ducky, it's really up to you. With like the simple Arduino ones, you can just download anything off the internet as long as it has access. You plug it in, it downloads everything for you. With the fancier ones like the Flipper and the Hack 5, you can run keyloggers, TCP shells, any kind of malware directly from the device. You're not dependent on the internet for that. So depends on how much money you want to spend, but normally you can download anything off the internet. So what we did is we used the DigiSpark Arduino board for our rubber ducky because cost. And for our software, we had to use the Hack 5 Payload Studio, and we had to use a modified Python script that would convert it to Arduino for the board.
The really cool thing about the Arduino is that the price point and barrier to entry is really low. It's like $5, and you can get your scripts running, and it's all free and open source software, so you can start up on your own for only like $5 for the rubber ducky. But for the Hack 5, it's more like $60, $80. But that includes a SD card and like data exfiltration, easier data exfiltration.
So the first step is always your Ducky script once you get it. And Ducky script is like really simple because we only used 1.0. We didn't do nothing too fancy with it. So the comments, any line that starts with rem, all capitalized, is just a comment. You have delays in between every command. That's so your keyboard or your computer can actually keep up with it, because it still thinks you're a human, so it expects you to be a little slow when typing. So we had to give it a second or less to catch up between every command, and for everything to load. And then from there, it's just special keys. You just use their names. So control, the Windows keys or Mac keys, you have to use the GUI keyword. So just know your OS you're working on, so you know your commands. And yeah, for this script, we have a comment at the top saying the author. We have the delays in between every command, just so we know that the computer will respond right, or actually respond. We have for the third line, we had to use the Windows key, Windows R, to run our next line. And then we just entered in a series of keystrokes that we wanted to take us to this YouTube link. And then all we had to do was hit enter, and we're good.
And like people just make some really cool scripts and post them on the internet. So like you can download it. One of my favorite is, I don't know if it's on here, but disabling the Windows, they have delete Windows System 32 on Windows, which is one of my favorites. Okay. So next we're going to have to compile it. So since it's an Arduino-based computer or microcontroller, we're not going to be able to put a text file and it won't be able to run. So we have to compile it through C++ on the Arduino IDE. We convert it to Arduino using a JavaScript and Java and a Python script, which converts it into the C++, which then we can compile with the Arduino IDE and send it to the rubber ducky.
Thank you to Raina, Zach, and Anthony for being our mentors over this last semester-ish. Anyways, thank you for putting together the mentorship groups, Anthony. Thank you, Raina and Anthony, for putting up with all of our antics and all of our trolling.
And finally, we have plug it in and test.
Wait,
Your disclaimer.
Okay, fine. Disclaimer. Only do this on your own machines or machines you have explicit permission to work on. Thank you.
All right.
Demo time.
What's the demo do?
All right, so here we have Philip holding a rubber ducky, Arduino based, and what he's going to do is
Just plug it in.
plug it in and not drop. And with all our hands up, not touching the computer,
We're blocking.
it opens an ad. Woo! Let's clap it up for that. Let's go, YouTube. Maybe 2 ads?
No, it's just one.
Oh, okay. And no volume. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
How do you get from the Arduino board to a full USB device that you can plug in? Because that only looks like half of the actual connection.
So the Arduino board has the USB pins on like half of it. So I don't know if you can go back to the slides. It has its flash storage on the on it. I think it's towards the beginning. Yeah. So it has the flash storage up here, but then it also has USB pin out right here.
So it has a USB attached to it.
Any other questions? Yes. Well, yes.
What did the duck say to the man running the stand?
Hey, bump, bump, bump. Got any grapes? Yes. Yes. Okay. Anyone else? Yes. I was thinking of doing a SD card, micro SD card, for file like data exfiltration. Is going to be a lot easier with the SD card, so you can just save it to the SD card. But you have GPIO pins, so you can do anything you want. Yes.
So I saw the picture with the flipper. How does that? I know that has like bad USB and stuff on it. How does like what's the difference between the one that you made and then the flipper one? Because I just know that has a lot more. I don't know.
So the one we made it takes a lot more to do. You have to compile it. You have to change it from a binary to a C program to run on the Arduino. The flipper is just put the text files on there and run it. You can possibly do data exfiltration onto the flipper itself because it has the mass storage device capabilities. It's just I don't know if it's been done yet because no one's actually done that on a flipper yet that I've seen. But with the flipper, it's a lot more straightforward. You write out your script, you load it up, and then you just run it. Whereas the Arduino board, it takes a little more work, but it's also significantly cheaper and easier to do. Well,
And since it's not flash storage, you can have multiple scripts, and you can have it go from USB to USB-C or A or micro USB or whatever you want it to. Yes.
Did you guys, over the course of the semester, write any cool scripts that you'd like to share with everybody?
I wrote a script. It catted out a Wikipedia page for rubber duckies. And then I think it also went to the Ducky song, but I only tested it on Linux because I don't have a Windows VM yet. So yeah.
We also made reverse shells.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess the fun ones we did was the reverse shells we had to do them onto VMs, but yeah, those are the fun ones. Any other questions? Anthony?
So you have a certain laptop per se, it's a USB port, and it's controlled to the database of items per se. What's an example script you could have to exfiltrate some stuff?
What kind of database?
It's got some items in it.
Here we have an example of someone making a exfiltrate exfil Firefox. So you can get like history and cookies and other things. I have not run it yet, but
Anthony, is the object you're referring to a lanyard?